Okay, welcome to another session in this series. In the previous session, we ended on question number 77. In this session, we started question number 78. Okay? The question says in the diagram, WXY is an equilateral triangle. Okay? So this is an equilateral triangle. What that means is that all the angles are the same. Okay? So if this angle is X, this angle will be X, and this angle will be X. Okay? So let's do that. So we say this angle is what? X. Then X plus X plus X should give us what? 180. How do you get X plus X plus X? Because this side will be X, and this place will be X, this place will also be X. So when we add 3 X's together, we have what? 180. Because the sum of the angles in the triangle add up to 180. Okay? So we have 3x should give us what? 180. So we have x2 equal to 60. Okay, cool. Now what that means is that this angle is 60, this angle is 60, and this angle is also 60. Okay, equals 60. Cool. Now if we put this here, that will be 60, right? And that means that when we add these angles, this small angle which is blue here, and then if we do another angle right here, which is the yellow, when we add those two angles, we should get what? 60, right? Because they add up to the red. Yellow plus blue should give us what? This full red. Okay, now we know that this red is what? The same as x, okay, which is 60. Cool. So yellow plus blue should give us what? 60. Cool. Now we can take this triangle out and try to find this yellow angle. Okay, so let's take that out. So we have, okay, so now this small triangle right here is what? An isosceles triangle. How do we know? Because two of the sides are what? The same. Cool. And then given that this angle is equal to what? 130. So this angle is what? 130. And since it is an isosceles triangle, that means this angle here and this angle here will be what? The same. Okay, but we know that this our yellow angle here plus this blue angle here give us 60. Okay, so now let's try to find this yellow angle. Okay, and we say that it will be the same as this angle because what? It is an isosceles triangle. So let's label that also yellow, and then let's call them maybe y. So now in order to find y, how do you do that? We can add it together and the 130, then we get what? 180, because that is the sum of angles in a triangle. So y plus 130 should give us 180. So 2y should give us what? 180 minus 130 should give us 50, and y will give us what? 25. Okay, cool. Now we know y, which is this yellow angle here, this yellow angle, and then we know this, we don't know this blue angle. That blue angle is the angle we are trying to find, the angle uxy. This angle here is what we are trying to find. Okay, now we know the yellow, we know the red, so we can just subtract yellow from your red to give us what? The blue. What's the red? The red is the what? X, which is 60. Okay, so 60. And what is the blue? What is the yellow? We found the yellow. This yellow is what? This one, which is y, which is 25 minus 25 should give us what? 35. So that angle is what? 35, which is A. Cool. All right, let's move on to question number 79. The question says a regular polygon of n sides has each exterior angle equal to 45. Find the value of n. So in order to find the exterior angle of a polygon, we know that the formula is what? 360 over n for a regular polygon, right? Cool. Now we will do that. This gives us what? Each of them is what? 45. So how many sides does this polygon have? We just need to find n, right? So we make n the subject. So n is equal to what? 360 over 45 by doing a simple what? Cross multiplication. And then dividing as well, okay? We finally get n to be 360 over 45. And that will give us what? I think that will give us 8, okay? So our n is equal to 8. Cool? Alright, let's move on to question number 80. Question number 80. The question says, find the value of y in the diagram. So this is what we are trying to find. This angle right here is what we are trying to find. But to find this angle, we need to work out this angle, okay? We need to work out this angle. Then when we add it to this and this, we should get what? 180. So let's first work out this angle. Let's label that angle to be x. X. Cool. Now, how do you find this angle x? To find this angle x, we just need to take a look at here. Now, we see that these are two lines crossing. So we have what? Vertically opposite angles. So that means this angle here will be equal to this angle here. So essentially, this angle is also what? X. Cool. So now we can find this x by adding these three angles together and equating it to 180, because the angles in the triangle add up to what? 180. Cool. So x plus 71 plus 38 gives us what? 180. So you say x equal to 180 minus 109. Is that the case? Okay, so x will give us 71. Cool. Okay, cool. Now if x gives us 71, then you can easily find y, okay? Because this was x plus 50 plus y should give us what? 180 as well. So we have y plus x, which is 71, plus 50 should give us 180. So y will give us 180 minus 50 minus 71. So y will give us 59. Okay, y will give us 59. Cool. Let's move on to question number 81. Cool. So y is 59, which is C. Let's move on to question number 81. The question says find the value of m. So we are trying to find this m value here. Cool. Now this looks tricky, but it's very easy. Okay, we just need to extend a couple of things and then we find our answer. So let's try to draw. As we know, these two lines are parallel to each other, and then these two lines are also parallel to each other, right? How did we know? Because of these signs, okay? And then this sign and this sign are the same, so this is parallel to this, this is parallel to this. Okay, cool. Now let's try to draw some extra lines, and then you can see, okay, you can see properly. So when we draw a straight line through this point, it will be what? Parallel to these two lines. Okay, so let's do that. Cool. Now, all right, this line that we draw here, now we can find a lot of things, right? Now since this is parallel to this, then we can have what? Alternate angles, okay, at a z. This angle will be equal to this angle, right? So we have parallel angle, then we have a z, okay? So the angles and the armpit will be the same, right? So this angle is what? The same as this angle, which is 80, okay? So let's label it to be 80. Cool. Now, if that is 80, if this angle is 80, so this angle will be what? 140 minus 80, right? So this angle right here is what? 140 minus 80, which is what? 60. Now, if we find this angle to be 60, then we can do another thing over here, which is that if this line is parallel to this line, as we said, then we can also have what? Alternate angles. Okay, alternate angles. So this angle right here will be the same as this angle right here, because what? They are alternate. And we found this angle to be what? 60. So this angle will also be what? 60. Cool. And this angle right here will also be what? 60. Cool. Now we're almost there. So now on this angle and this angle are co-interior angles, right? They are co-interior angles. So what that means is that when we add them, we should get what? 180. Because co-interior angles add up to 180. That means 60 plus m should give us 180. Okay? 60 plus m should give us 180. So m is equal to 120, which is C. Cool. I think we'll have to stop here for now. In the next session, we move on to question number 82. Thank you so much for watching this session. See you again next time. Bye.